Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be chatting about the player rating versus Royal AM. That poor game from Kaizer Chiefs in terms of attack and in terms of defense. There's a lot of things I want to highlight in this game. So just let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe, so that at least we know we are on the right track. But let's start. We'll start with Peterson. Peterson looked very shaky. I'm going to give him a bad rating. I'm going to give Peterson a 4. The reason why I give Peterson a 4 is that why is that all shots on target from opposition lead to goals? It doesn't look right. I know in the first half he made a good save, but the amount of chances Royal AM made in this game and the amount of misses the amount of goals they scored just doesn't add up. They almost had I just don't think they had clear-cut chances, but somehow these things made it into the back of the net. Whereas Kaizer Chiefs kept getting blocked by the keeper, Mpoto, and it's things like that make you question, what is happening? What is happening at Kaizer Chiefs? So I'm going to give Peterson a 4. You as a goalkeeper, start. If people don't fear you as a goalkeeper, then there honestly is no hope. Left back, Cross, I'm going to give a 3. Always out of position, doesn't give us anything up front. Even let me give him a 2. A 3 is being too generous. Always giving away Cross's problem is not really giving away the ball. His problem is more that he can't do the job he was signed to do. Meaning the job he was signed to do was to defend, and he's failing to defend. He's always caught outside of position. And this one is one that I think I will blame Cross for it, but Nabi is the one who should be correcting it. Because it's almost like Cross is playing according to instruction that he must keep going up, but then he doesn't get cover at the back, and at the end result is that we will blame Cross because on the right the same thing is happening, but Frosler, Solomons, and Blom, for whatever reason, they find a way to recover on the right, but Cross just struggles to recover. I don't know what that issue is. So Cross 2. The centre backs 2, both of them 2. They are the reason we drew this match, which to us is a loss. So Dudley 2, Msimango 2. Dudley's biggest mistake is his positioning sometimes is questionable. There's a lot of good things he does in the game, but then it's like these critical moments, he loses concentration. He just loses concentration in these critical moments. So that's Dudley. And I've mentioned this in the previous conversation that Dudley needs a leader next to him. If Dudley does not have a leader next to him, I feel like he lacks vision and he lacks guidance. I don't think he's at that level where he can take command of a back four. And that is technically why I feel Miguel is still better than Msimango. Msimango has all the attributes to be better than Miguel, but he just doesn't have that leadership quality that will limit mistakes or make Abu Dudley wake up. Sometimes you need, like for example, back in the days, we had Utefo and Umatoho. Utefo and Maito, Utefo is more a leader based on his discipline and how he carries himself. But he was not a very vocal leader. But what he had, which was lucky for him, he had Itumilenkune behind him. Now, Itu was a vocal goalkeeper. Now, because Itu was such a leader, even when he didn't have the captain armband, everyone knew what was happening around them and everyone knew how to cover it. But now, when we have Peterson, it does not feel like he's shaky himself. Our centre-backs are shaky without Miguel. So there's that. Next one, Solomons. Solomons, I'm going to give a 7. I know he played 13 minutes. This 13 minutes is one that's going to have a star on it. Why is it going to have a star? Us as Chiefs fans have been crying for Solomons for a very, very long time. And today it proved why we cry for Solomons. Frosler has been playing for how many games now since we started playing Carling Cup and the season? It's only been Frosler. But he has failed to do what Solomons did in 13 minutes. In this game, before Solomons got injured, that assist that he created is what we have been asking Frosler to do. But Frosler just tries to square for short people. I don't know why. But Solomons takes on a player, cuts back. And the right kind of cutback, not this thing that Pule Modi was doing. But anyway, so Solomons, I'm going to give a rating of 7 with a star to say, despite having only 13 minutes, his contribution for me was very important. Because without his contribution, we could have actually lost this game 2-1, if you think about it. The next one is Mtetwa. Mtetwa, I'm going to give a 7. Yes, there are things that Mtetwa did that were mistakes here and there, but I feel like for overall, let me say 6.5. I don't want to put it too high. Let me say 6.5, but a 7 is still relevant in my mind. But let me say 6.5 for now. Yes, Mtetwa is not a ball player, but he did his job. The only time I'm going to question Mtetwa in this game, which is why I'm reluctant to give him a 7, is we are winning 2-1. Then I expect him to forget about attack. Him especially. Abomad and the rest, Abo Samkelo Zwane, I don't care about those ones. They can, technically I would have preferred them to focus on defense first and then help in attack, but don't add too many numbers up front. But the one person I had a problem who tried to add numbers up front is Mtetwa. I didn't like that part of his game where he's adding numbers up front, because Mtetwa in the first half, what he did is that he didn't move forward. He didn't move too forward, and it showed, because in the first half, Royal AM struggled to come through the centre backs. They had to always go wide. But then in the second half, whenever Mtetwa left that centre that defensive midfielder position, it felt like it gave Royal AM hope, because every time Mtetwa leaves that space, these guys somehow find a way to create a chance. And that shows you the importance of Mtetwa in the team. Mtetwa should never leave his DM position, even if it means, because I know sometimes Naye, he gets frustrated because he realizes about mad or lacking creativity, so he tries to run with the ball and stuff like that. And I can understand why he does it, but I sometimes just wish that he doesn't do it. You know why? Because if Mtetwa carries the ball and goes forward, what Matt is then supposed to do is he's supposed to drop into Mtetwa's DM position and cover Mtetwa. But no, Matt will want to run in Mtetwa, but you join an attack, and then when you think about it, when you're looking at replays, you realize good Matt and Mtetwa are in the opposition box. But when a counter happens, these guys can't get to the centre backs in time when a long ball is hit. So that's why I'm gonna say that. So 6.5 from Mtetwa. Matt, I'm going to give a 7.5. I think it's one of his better games as a Kaizer Chiefs player. I think people will judge him because of his miss. It was a terrible miss. He should have scored that. But the one thing I will say is that he was consistent. He played well defensively. He played well in attack. He actually helped us go forward and create a lot of the chances we did. There were many moments where, when in previous games when Matt gets the ball, you end up being like, why did they pass Matt? Because he's going to pass back. But in this game, it was different. You would pass Matt, and Matt would have he would force people to think positively and think attack. And that's what I liked about Matt's game. And yes, I've criticized Matt in the past because Matt lacks consistency. You see these past 2 performances? Watch the next game. The next games that are going to come, Matt will, for whatever reason, go back to default settings and start doing the things that we say we don't like about him. So that's the thing about Matt. Matt must not go back to this negative football player. But the thing is that it's mindset. You can't teach a player these things. These things a player must just know naturally. Anyway, Cirino, I'm going to give a 4.5. Yeah, 4.5, 5, whatever. He had no impact in the game. Mdu Shabalala, a 4, no impact in the game. There's one thing that many fans are highlighting about Shabalala's weakness. The boy just can't take shots. The boy just can't take shots. Shabalala, I don't know what training he does. I always see videos of him. You see, this is one thing I don't like about when someone is doing training in the background, their own training. Why, when they put it on social media to be like, you see, I do extra training. It's things like that I don't like. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo, people had to tell us that he trains in the background. Like, his teammates had to be like, hey, this one is mad. After a game, he still goes and gets on a bicycle and then starts like cycling. He's like, why are you doing that? And then he will be like, I'm working. How? And then, but then these people who want to advertise their work, people that I don't trust, because Shabalala shows us all the time that he does extra training, but his extra training, it still leads you to not be able to shoot a ball. At this age, this guy is too old to not be able to shoot a ball. Like, honestly, I don't know what to say about Shabalala. Since we've been watching him, he struggles to shoot the ball. And the chances he's getting in the box. So even if you can't take a shot, at least put a placement that is decent, past the net, past the net. I was watching the TS Galaxy striker, that one for that white striker. There's this goal he scored for TS Galaxy the other day where this guy just passed the net. He didn't fight with no keeper. He just touched the ball past the net. First time touch. And I was like, this is what you lack in South Africa. Someone who knows that as long as I know where I'm placing the ball, it's fine. Anyway, the Duba I'm going to give Duba a 6.5. He scored a goal. He definitely helped us there. But the one criticism I'll have about Duba, and it's a criticism that I keep having about him, is that Duba is not creative. Duba, for a right winger, is not creative. Duba is the kind of right winger you have to feed. He's like a right wing striker. Like, he can't unlock a team from the right. He kind of needs someone to unlock it for him, and then he puts the ball in the back of the net, or he scores and stuff like that. But in defense, he does work hard and pressing the defenders who have the ball. He does all of those things right. My only problem with Duba is that he can't do winger-like things, like taking on a winger, putting in a decent cross. Those are things that his game is lacking, and you can see it. And that's what... And Serino on his side, he's able to, even if Serino is not crossing, but he's able to maneuver chances from the left that Duba can't do on the right. But the thing is that if Duba can't do it on the right, my problem is when he's receiving the ball by the throwing line, it's like he's receiving it to do what? Because he can't take on players. He must then find a way to find spaces behind the defenders. He needs to find a way to make movements behind the defenders. And that's what I expect from him. But anyway, in terms of the substitutions, Ranga, for me, I know a lot of people have been saying Ranga had a bad game. For me, no one created a chance for Ranga. So you can't rate a striker who chances haven't been created for him, because that's the striker Ranga is. Ranga can't create chances for himself. And that's why I always say I don't want Ranga as a striker, because I don't like strikers that need you to create. I need a striker who can make a plan. And Ranga is not that striker. But at the same time, what Ranga did do, which Chiefs players actually helped, is that Ranga was holding the ball up well, and Ranga was helping create chances. So I won't bash him to in this game like I will in another game. But the one thing I will say is he did have an okay game, because he helped create, he held up the ball. He did add some extra dynamic to the game. The only difference is that he's not a quality striker. But yeah, I sometimes we can't be too unfair because we don't like someone. And that's what I'm going to say there. I'm not saying he's a top quality striker. I'm just saying, compared to his other performances, this performance, he was at least doing some things right. So that's what we say there. Modi, the less said about him, the better. I won't talk about Modi. If I had to give Modi a rating, I'll give him a 0. He should have stayed on the bench. Samkelo Zwane, there's something, I was in a space this morning, and there's something one of the people mentioned in the space. They said the one thing they don't like about Zwane, and even like Shabalala, is like, why do they have to be stylish when they're making simple passes? Why does everything have to look good when they're doing it? Why can't they just forget about being stylish and just do the job? Just get there, just arrive there. And that is one thing I agree with what they said. I that's one thing that I was like, this thing of looking cool from Abu Samkelo Zwane, for me, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I hate it with a passion. Because these players that like to look cool are the worst kind of players. The last player for me who looked cool doing what he was doing, some people may argue it's Rele, but Rele is very clean. If you have to be honest, Rele is he's skillful, yes, but he's very clean, meaning that he doesn't look stylish. He just looks efficient and he's skillful. There's a difference in that. Stylish is someone who just has swagger in how they release the ball. If you've watched Ronaldinho's and stuff like that, you'll know what I mean when I say stylish. But Tiko Modiso for me is the last player for me who was stylish, but at the same time could do what he needed to be doing in the start. Tiko would do no-look passes. He would shake each other. He had so much swagger about him. But did he do his job right? Yes. That is the difference between Tiko and the rest of these guys. And another thing I'll say is this. You will never should have a stylish defensive midfielder. Never. A defensive midfielder should not be stylish. Like, his job is so critical. You can't play games there. That's one thing else. For example, someone may argue that Yeye was stylish. No. Yeye, his flair was his pass, but he didn't make it look stylish. It's just, Yeye could run and do 1-2s and make it look amazing, and you'd be like, yo, he's passing his style. No, Yeye was just like on another level. You know, the players that are on another level that you'll think they're trying to be fancy, but they're not. It just comes like natural. But he's not doing a no-look pass or whatever. He's doing proper things. But in his doing proper things, it looks some type of way. But anyway, that's all I have to say for today. The one thing one of the members mentioned that I should comment about is Shabalala, about his poor performance. And I'm going to say this about Shabalala to conclude. Shabalala, guys, I will criticize him for his games. He has been poor the past 2 games. But let us not, and people have been saying, yeah, you come and you bash Cross, you come and you bash Mad, hey, now it's your time to bash Shabalala. And I'm going to tell you this one thing, guys. Mad is about 29 to 30 years old. Mad, there's no excuse. Cross has just been poor just even before. I just knew he wouldn't be what everyone's expecting. That one you guys can even quote me on. I was saying I'm not sure about Cross. But anyway, with Shabalala, I want to say this. The boy is having an off period. We don't know why he's having an off period. So when you guys are saying I must bash Shabalala, have the same energy with Serino. Because Serino in the past games has not delivered for us. He has not delivered for us. But I don't hear you guys saying, hey, Serino. Serino has been off in the past few games. And so has Shabalala. But now, just because he's off, I'm not going to bash him. I am going to say he's been having a bad form. But when I tell you today that Shabalala is our top goal scorer in the league, you will say I'm lying. Mdu has 3 goals. I think the next player who are following him are like Dupree with 2, is Wandile Duba with 2. So Shabalala is much better than he was last season, but he isn't great. There's a very big room for improvement. He has to improve. But I won't sit here and bash him to the level of Matt. Matt has been bad for 3 seasons. Shabalala has entered professional football with bad coaching. So Mdu Shabalala has been introduced to the PSL with bad coaches, and you guys just expect miracles. He's been learning the game from Abo Arthur Zwane, who barely played him, to Abo Molefe, who was not a coach, to Abo Kevin Johnson. And then now he gets a proper coach, and he started off well. He's just having a dip in form. Now you guys want to bash him. Let's add context to these things. Amakhosi.